Me and my buddy Jake, both fresh out of college and in our mid-20s, had this tradition of hitting the trails in northern Georgia every fall. We weren't hardcore survivalists or anything, just two guys from Atlanta trying to escape the grind of entry-level jobs and city noise. Jake was the planner, always mapping out routes on his phone, while I handled the gear, packing way too much beer and not enough sensible shit like extra socks. That October weekend, we picked a trailhead deep in the Chattahoochee National Forest, about 4 miles in from the parking lot. The leaves were turning that fiery red and orange, crunching under our boots as we trudged along. "Man, this is living," Jake said, slapping a mosquito off his neck. "No bosses, no emails, just us and the woods." "Yeah, until we get lost and end up on some true crime podcast," I shot back, laughing. We bantered like that the whole way, talking about everything from our shitty dating lives to how we'd quit our jobs if we won the lottery. Jake was nursing a breakup. His ex had ghosted him after 3 years, and I was dealing with my own crap, like figuring out if I even liked my marketing gig. The trail wound through thick pines and over rocky streams, and by the time we set up camp in a small clearing, we were beat but buzzin'. We gathered firewood, started a blaze in the pit we dug, and cracked open some cans. Dinner was basic. Hot dogs roasted on sticks, chased with whiskey from my flask. The temperature had been mild during the day, but as the sun dipped, it plummeted. Mid-fall in Georgia usually means sweater weather, not this Arctic bullshit. "Dude, it's gotta be dropping into the 20s, I muttered, zipping up my sleeping bag tighter. "Feels like we're in freaking Alaska." Jake poked the fire with a branch, sparks flying up. "You wussy. This is what makes it memorable. Remember that time in college when we camped by the lake and it rained all night?" "We survived that." "Barely," I grumbled. "My tent leaked like a sieve." We laughed, the heat from the flames warming our faces as we swapped stories. Full bellies and the crackle of the fire lulled us into sleep pretty quick. I dozed off, staring at the stars peeking through the canopy, thinking about how peaceful it all felt. I woke to something tapping my foot. Not hard, just insistent. My eyes snapped open, and there was Jake, silhouetted against the dying embers, holding a stick like it was a lifeline. He didn't say a word, just nodded toward the fire. I followed his gaze, and my heart slammed into my ribs. 2 wild boars, massive, shaggy beasts, were rooting around the coals, kicking up dirt and snorting like they owned the place. One was easily 150 pounds, tusks curling out like scimitars. The other a bit smaller, but no less mean-looking. Their eyes glinted in the low light, and they were pissed, grunting and shuffling closer to our camp. "Shit," I whispered, barely audible. My voice caught in my throat. We had no guns, no knives worth a damn, just a hand axe I left propped against a tree, way out of reach. If we moved, we'd spook them, and everyone knows Georgia boars don't fuck around. They're invasive, aggressive as hell, and they've gored hikers before. One wrong noise and we'd be shredded. Jake's face was pale, eyes wide. "Don't move," he mouthed, easing back into his bag. We lay there, frozen, watching them. The bigger one snorted, pawing at the ground where our food scraps were buried. "What if they charge?" I hissed, my pulse thundering. "They won't if we stay quiet," he whispered back, his voice steady, but I could hear the fear. "Just wait it out. Fire's almost gone. They'll lose interest." Time dragged like molasses. An hour felt like eternity. The cold seeped into my bones, but sweat beaded on my forehead from the tension. The boars circled the pit, tusks scraping roots, their breath puffing in the frigid air. One bumped the logs, sending embers scattering, and I nearly pissed myself. "Jake, man, this is bad," I murmured. "Remember that story about the guy in Atlanta? Boar tore his leg open." "Shut up," he snapped under his breath. "You're gonna jinx it. If they come at us, grab for the axe. I'll distract." "No way," I replied. "We're both getting out of this." We kept whispering like that, low and urgent, sharing stupid plans that'd probably get us killed. It was surreal. 2 grown men reduced to statues, praying to whatever god watches over idiots in the woods. I thought about my mom back home, how she'd freak if she knew. And Jake's ex? Bet she'd feel bad now. Finally, As the fire sputtered to ash, the boars lost interest. The big one grunted one last time and then trotted off into the underbrush, the smaller one following. We waited another 10 minutes, hearts pounding before sitting up. Holy fuck, Jake exhaled, rubbing his face. That was too close. No shit, I said, laughing shakily. We almost became boar chow. We rebuilt the fire with trembling hands, talking through the adrenaline crash. You think they smelled us? He asked. Probably the hot dogs, I replied. Lesson learned. Bury the scraps deeper next time.